All right, let's dive right in. We're going to unpack some incredible ideas from the book Master Your Time. And really, it all boils down to one thing. How do you take back control of your schedule so you can focus on what actually moves the needle in your life? Okay, let's be real for a second. Have you ever had one of those days, you feel like you've got this mountain of stuff to do, but the clock just seems to be mocking you and the day evaporates before you've even made a dent? Yeah, we've all been there. Well, think of this as your guide to finally conquering that mountain. Man, this slide just hits home, doesn't it? It's like the daily tug of war for our attention. Over here, you've got the stuff that truly makes you better, richer, smarter. And over there, well, there are the endless distractions that just gobble up your time. I mean, just think about it for a second. What would happen if you swapped just 4 hours of binge-watching TV for 4 hours of deep reading? That's the kind of power we're talking about unlocking today. All right, first up, let's tackle the biggest, baddest time thief of them all, procrastination. But here's the twist. We're not going to treat it like some kind of personal failing. Nope, we're going to look at it like a puzzle, one that we can actually solve. So here are the 4 main clues to why we procrastinate. Think of them as the culprits. First up, the task is just vague. You have no idea where to even begin. Sound familiar? Okay, number 2, you're sitting around waiting for this magical burst of motivation to strike. And, spoiler alert, it never comes. 3, you're paralyzed by the fear of not doing it perfectly. And finally, number 4, you just feel completely and totally overwhelmed by how massive the task seems. The big idea here is that once you figure out why you're stuck, you can finally figure out how to get unstuck. And this right here, this is so crucial. It completely flips the script on the whole motivation myth. See, we think we need to feel motivated before we can act. But the truth? It's the exact opposite. Action creates the motivation. Just taking that one tiny little first step, that's what builds the momentum you've been waiting for all along. Okay, so we've got a plan for procrastination. Now what? How do we build up that sustainable energy to actually get things done, day in and day out? Well, it's all about learning to fuel your internal productivity engine. And let's get one thing straight about what productivity really means. It is not about cramming more work in your day until you burn out. No way. It's a much more holistic idea. It's about engaging in important, meaningful work while also having the time and energy for your friends, your family, your hobbies, your life. Think about your energy. It's not like a gas tank that you just drain from full to empty every day. It's more like a cycle, a rhythm. As you can see here, it all starts with conserving it. The basics, like getting good sleep and eating right. Then you have to be smart about where you use it. You channel it into those key tasks, you let yourself get totally immersed, but then, and this is so important, you take regular breaks to recharge before you hit empty. Then you can restart the cycle fresh. It's a system, people, not a sprint. Now, this is a really powerful mindset shift. What if today wasn't just Tuesday? What if you treated today as a micro-life, a complete, tiny version of your entire life? Suddenly, every single choice matters, doesn't it? The choice to learn something new or to just zone out, it becomes a blueprint for the person you're becoming. A single day of meaningful action starts to build a whole life of purpose. All right, so we've got the fuel for our productivity engine. Now let's talk about how to upgrade the engine itself. We're moving into some next-level strategies here. These are things that don't just help you manage your time, they make it feel like you can actually multiply it. So here are 3 seriously powerful ways to do just that. First, seek help and shorten your learning curve. I mean, why spend ages on trial and error when you could find a mentor or take a course and get there faster? Second, adopt a mastery mindset. Focus on getting really good at skills that will save you a ton of time down the road. And the third one, this is the ultimate time multiplier, use your money to save time. Listen to the words you use because they are so powerful. How many times a day do you say, I don't have time? It feels true, but it's a trap. What you're really saying is, this isn't a priority for me right now. An empowering mindset flips that around. You say, okay, I'll make time for this as soon as I finish what I'm doing now. See the difference? It puts you right back in the driver's seat. Okay, here's a radical idea that might just change how you see, everything. We are absolutely obsessed with saving money, but what if we were obsessed with saving time? Think about it. Time is the one resource you can never, ever get back. Money? You can always make more. So the smartest people out there,
They use their money as a tool to buy back their most precious, non-renewable asset, their time.
Let's make this super practical. The next time you're about to make a big purchase, I want you to do this simple math. Translate the price tag into hours of your life. So let's say you make $15 an hour. That shiny new $900 phone, it's not $900. It's 60 hours of your life. 60 hours of your one and only finite time on this planet. All of a sudden, the question isn't, can I afford it? It's, is it worth it?
And that brings us to our final section, which is really the ultimate leverage point. Because look, you can't control time, the clock is always going to tick. But the one thing you can control is where you put your attention. Mastering your focus, that's the final and maybe the most important piece of this whole puzzle. You've probably heard of the 80-20 principle, and this is what it looks like. It's this wild idea that most of the time, about 80% of your results come from just 20% of your actions. Isn't that crazy? So your job, your mission, is to figure out what your critical 20% is. You know, those few high-impact tasks, and pour all your focused energy into them, instead of spreading yourself thin across everything else. And the absolute peak of focus? It has a name. It's called the flow state. You know that feeling, right? You're so deep into what you're doing that the rest of the world just melts away. You lose track of time, distractions don't even register. In that state, your productivity just goes through the roof. And here's the best part. Flow isn't some mystical thing that just happens to you. You can actually engineer it. It's not magic, it's a process. You need a solid routine. You need a trigger, something simple like meditation or a specific song that tells your brain, okay, it's time to focus now. And you have to be absolutely ruthless about eliminating distractions. I'm talking phone off, notifications silenced, extra tabs closed. You're building a fortress of focus where deep work is the only thing that can happen. So let's bring it all back home, back to that idea of the micro life. I want to leave you with this one question to think about. If today, right now, was your entire life in miniature, what would you change? Really think about it, because that single question might just be the most powerful kickstart you need to finally master your time, starting this very moment.